Good morning, everyone. I hope everyone had a great Thursday. Happy Friday. Finally made it through another week again. Not too much to go through today, just some normal assignments. Don't forget today your social studies and spelling are both due, so make sure you have that turned in um, by the end of the day or by this weekend sometime. It would work as well. All right. For kindergarten today, your math assignment today is just like yesterday's on the front side. You got to do the adding of the dice, write the numbers down, color the dice that has the doubles, the same number on both sides, color it red. So this should be pretty easy, just like yesterday. But then on the back side, you're doing another dot to dot. Make sure you add them all up nice and neatly. Be very careful with how those work, and then color it when you're all done. All right? For Super Kids today, I want you to write the letter M, big and little, upper and lowercase, 10 times. And then I want you to write the sentence that we worked with yesterday, mud is a mess. You need to write that 3 times and read it 3 times. Then finish those M worksheets for me for today. All right? All right. First graders, you guys have just the guided practice sheet. So the first one, it deals with where you're a teacher, and there's only 2 that are wrong. So you got to find those 2 problems, circle them, and write them correctly next to that problem. So that should be pretty easy. You only have to find 2 of them. Then on your class sheet on 115, it's just a review assignment. So number 1, you got to write the number 104 and circle the number that's in the hundreds place in that box up there. Number 2, it says Michelle wrote a 2-digit number on a piece of paper. She gave the children the following clues to have them guess the secret number. She said the digits she used was 1, or the digits she used were a 3 and a 5. So what 2 numbers could she make using a 3 and a 5? So you got to use those clues. You can only use 3 and 5. What 2 numbers can you make using those numbers? Write those on the line. Number 3, circle the clock there that shows us 1:30. So which one of those shows 1:30? Remember, 1:30 is 1:30. Yeah, good. Number 4, tell me what number that, with the 4 linking 10 sticks and 4 1 cubes, what number would that be? Number 5, it says draw how many chairs there are in the classroom. Do it, how many chairs are there in your house? Count how many separated chairs there are and write that there. And then adding by tens at the very, very bottom. Shouldn't be too hard there on the front, I don't think. Like I said, everything's review. Then on the back, everything else is exactly the same except for the top problem again. Like normal, you got to count backwards by 1 for the first one and then count up by 5s on the top part, on the second one. Otherwise, everything else is exactly the same. Number 5, though, says show how many chairs are in your home. You could just do this. You can cross that one off since we already did that one on the front side. Okay. All right, that's your math for your phonics today. We're finishing up our look at the E sound. So on page 199, you're circling remember if it has a line over the E, that makes the E. If it has no line, that's the sound. So make sure you look at the picture and circle the word that makes. Then for 200 and 201, you're just circling the word that matches the picture and writing it in on the line. And then on the last page, they give you 3 words, and you have to pick which one goes with the picture and circle it. That's all you got to do there. All right. For your reading today, first graders, you're doing page 231 to 236. So you have 3 sheets today. The first one you're going to come up with some words to describe a make-believe bug. So it's completely your choice. Write those describing words in there, and then in that box on the left-hand side, draw me a picture of your crazy-looking bug according to what you put in those blanks. For page 232 on the top part, find the word that's hidden in those letters. It's going to be one of the words from the spelling words at the top, and then at the bottom, find the one that's spelled wrong. Circle it and write it correctly. On page 233, you have a picture of a butterfly and a bird. Tell me one way of how those birds are alike. How are they the same, bird and the butterfly? And then tell me on the bottom line, how are they different? Okay, not too hard so far. Page 234, you just got to read the story, and then you got to answer the questions on 235. This is a little part of the story from A Surprise Family that we did yesterday. I hope you guys enjoyed that story. And then on 236, you have to write the word that means one more. So what's one more dress? If I had 2, you'd say dresses. So you write that on the line for 1, 2, and 3, one of those. Number 4, 5, and 6, write the words that have the oi, like oink, sound in them. And at the bottom, which spelling word, which one of those words in the box did you not use. Write that there on the line. So make sure you cross off the words as you use them, so that way you know which one you haven't used at the end. All right? Rodney, for your reading today, first page, 60 and 61, those are just review pages. You got stuff that we've been doing. Answer the questions exactly how they tell you. Number 62 deals with facts. Remember we talked about facts and opinions. Facts are things that can be proven, that are true. So you got to read both sentences and tell me which one is the fact and underline it. Then at the bottom you need to finish each one of those sentences by adding one more detail to it. Okay? So you have to write, a couple, 3, 4, 5 words. 63 deals with the wah and the w sound. In the orange box, circle all the words that make the wah sound, like want. And in the blue box, all the w sound, like wonder. And then use one of those words to write a sentence at the bottom. On page 64, these are some vocab words that you're going to be going over for your news story, George Washington's Breakfast, that you're going to read on Monday. Read the sentence. If the word that's underlined, the vocab word that's underlined, if it doesn't make sense, cross off the word. If it does make sense, just leave the word as it is. Okay? All right. Second graders, for your phonics today, you're going to be looking at the nt contraction, N-T, N apostrophe T. So that means like cannot, can't, have not, haven't, will not, won't. That one's a little trickier. So on both pages, you're just going to be working with those nt. Follow the directions. I don't think it should be too hard. I don't think you should be able to figure it out pretty easily. Second grade, for your math. All right, today for your math, on the first page, you're going to be doing a bunch of multiplying by 5s again, both sides, working on those. Keep those up. Keep doing well on those and writing those nice and neatly. And then for number 1 let's take a look at your assignment. Oh, sorry, and I went the wrong way. There's a middle page which you don't have to do. There's a graphed page, graphing pennies. You can skip that page altogether. But number 1, you have to fill in that graph, even though we're skipping the graphing on the pennies. You have to fill in a graph there at the top part. So look at number 1. It says, the children in Mrs. Alfonso's class chose their favorite fruits. 8 chose bananas, 15 chose oranges, and 7 chose apples. Color the graph to show me how many. So 8. So you go to bananas and you go out to the 8 and color all the way across till we stop at the 8. Now, there's not a 15 there for the, oranges. So where do we go for 15? Well, we know 15 falls right between 14 and 16. So you color all the way up past the 14 and right in between 14 and 16. So you're going to color like half a box there. And same with the 7 for the apples. You start at the 0, color all the way out. We know 7's between 6 and 8. Color past the 6, but right halfway between the 6 and the 8, that's where you stop. Okay? Then you have to pretend like you're the teacher, and you have to make up a question. See if you can stump Mr. Holman by writing a good question there underneath on the line. Number 2, it says, write about how much a lunchbox weighs. That shouldn't be too hard. Don't circle 100 pounds. That would be a crazy heavy lunchbox. Get out your ruler for number 3 and measure those sides of that triangle, depending on what they say. Remember oblique, vertical, horizontal. And then do the perimeter, add them all up. Number 4, it says it's dark outside. What time does that clock say? And don't forget your AM or PM. Number 5, have the mouth eating the bigger number, or if they're the same, write equals. And then number 6, you got to rewrite those words. They wrote them out horizontally. You need to write them vertically and then add them up or subtract them. All right, on the back side, it's exactly the same things, just different numbers. I don't think it should be too hard, too difficult. Make sure you write nice and neat, especially when you rewrite those math problems. Make sure you write them in the right columns and all that good stuff, so that way it's not too messy for you. All right? For your reading today, second graders, you got to find, on page 109, you have some O words, O-W, like crow, throw, snow. And you have some O words with an O-A, like goat and all that. What you have to do is match each word from the box to the top of the category. So like the first one says plate, cup, All right, so those are the utensils that you use. So I go back up there and, oh, there's a bowl. So I'll use bowl there. All right, shouldn't be too hard. Page 110, you're going to find the ones that are misspelled and circle them and write them correctly. Done that many times. Page 111, you need to find, there's a bunch of words in that box. Color only the words that are verbs. Remember, verbs are action words. So like throw, hit, jump, um, like, tell, those types of things. And then at the bottom, use each one of those verbs, make up your own sentence and use those verbs. Page 112, you need to, this deals with the story that you read, except you need to rewrite that sentence and make it show that you feel really, really strongly about it. So, like the first one, it says, older children teach their younger brothers and sisters. Maybe you could put, I think it's very important that older children teach their younger brothers and sisters. That shows that you think it's very, very important, that you have strong feelings about it by just adding that little phrase, I think it's important. So that's what you're going to be doing there. You're just going to add a few more words to each one to make it sound very, very important. All right? All right. All right. Third graders, today for your math, we're on lesson 99. We're finishing up our look at estimation today. For your assignment today, there's not a whole lot that's going to be too difficult, but on page, if you look at number 11, and I'm going to go over this again in the morning on our Zoom this morning, it says estimate the product of 252 times 2. So remember, 252 is about, now we're not going to go by the hundreds here, we're going to do it to the closest 10. So 252, that's closest to 250. Then we take 250 times 2. For B, it says 23 times 3. Well, we know 23 is closest to 25. So remember, that's the one that's kind of like, you got to think about coins. So we do 25 times 3 and then equal. All right, so that's what you're going to be doing on that one. So be careful with that. Otherwise, everything else is pretty much the same. For number 19, you got to get out a regular ruler. It doesn't have to be you can't use your rulers that we make, because you got to do this in the nearest centimeter. So you're gonna have to get out that there and measure that. All right. For your reading today, 147, you got to find the 5 words that are misspelled and then write them correctly. And then at the bottom, write the word that means the opposite of the underlined word. Not too hard. On the back page, 148, you got to find the 5 pronouns: he, she, it, we, it, I. Circle them and then write it, that pronoun, and the verb that is the word right after it on the line. And then use the figure out at the bottom which verb was written correctly on the bottom. Page 149, you need to find all of the pronouns again. These are object pronouns, so like him, me, us, her, them. Find those and just circle them and write them on the line. And then again, find those words, figure out which word best finishes the sentence. Then at the bottom, these are some words that deal with our new topic that you're going to be reading next week about fairy tales. Fairy, heroine, hero, culture, and folk tale. You got to use those clues to fill in the crossword puzzle, and then at the bottom, you got to unscramble those words to make that new spelling vocab word at the very, very bottom. All right? I don't think it should be too difficult. All right, and then 4th graders today. You guys have a math test, Leah and Trey, so make sure you look at for that for Mr. Wasser. And then you're on page 125. 125, it says, help the reporter of Music World write an article about Gloria Estefan. Use what you learned in the story to answer his questions. He says, I hear you have read a lot about Gloria Estefan. Tell something about her childhood up to the age of 16. So tell me something that was really important. That would be number 1. And then number 2 says, tell us a story about how she became a member of the band and how the band's leader, Emilio, and her fell in love. Okay? And then at the bottom it says, in your opinion. So you got to tell me what do you think? Okay? Then page 126, you got to read the story called The Singing Cubs, and then answer those questions over there about response and judge. So they tell you an event, what was the actor's response to that, and then how would you judge that person? What would you think about that person because of how they responded? Okay, And on 128, you got to put the two words together. So like first you're going to put the noisy and together, but don't forget when you added something and it ends with y, what do we always have to do? Change the y to an I and add er. So you got to rewrite the word, changing the y to an I, and then take those letters that have numbers under them and write them correctly on the bottom to answer the question. What kind of music do shoes like to listen to? Okay, and you're going to find out that one at the very, very bottom. All right, I think that should be about it for today. Um, I hope you guys have a great weekend this weekend. Enjoy your time with your family. And if you have any questions, feel free to get in contact with me. Don't forget about our special guest on Zoom this morning. So I hope to see many of you guys on there with us. And yeah, have a great rest of the day, okay? Talk to you soon. Bye.